Hey, welcome to the High Performance Man podcast. I am your host, John Fayocavitz. On this show, I interview successful men who have built impressive careers and businesses, founders, CEOs, and senior leaders, and professionals who have operated at a high level for years. We talk about what actually made them successful. The goal is simple: to learn directly from the men who have done it, so we can apply those insights into our own careers, businesses, and lives, and continue raising our own standard of performance. The show is sponsored by the Prime Performance Method. The Prime Performance Method is designed specifically for high-performing men who have achieved success in their careers, but feel like their body and energy have taken a hit. I help busy professionals regain strength, lose weight, and feel stronger within 8 weeks without long workouts, extreme dieting, and disrupting their demanding schedule. If you're a high-performance man who wants to feel as strong and energized as you are successful, message me, John Fayocavitz, on LinkedIn. On today's show, we have Kevin T. Robertson, CEO of KTR Consultancy International, where he helps high-level professionals master emotional intelligence so they can communicate better, lead stronger, and drive measurable revenue growth. Welcome today, Kevin, to the show.
John, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you reaching out.
You're so welcome. All right, well, let's get started. We'll start right away with the first question. What's the most important lesson you've learned so far that's helped you become successful in your business?
Without even thinking about that, John, it's the ability to connect with people. If you stripped away all of my skills that I have as a consultant, speaker, or coach, all the wonderful lessons that I've learned over a 42-year career as an entrepreneur, it's about building relationship equity. You know, John, you started out with a very simple message. You saw value in my services and what I did. You made a really strong connection with me, and that's how you start making those deposits. I call them relationship equity. You can't withdraw, John, unless you put something in. It's just like with, I was just on a podcast recently, and we talked about commerce. And commerce is just not money. Commerce is relationships. It's emotional intelligence. And because we're in an era of AI right now, we need to increase our emotional intelligence. So I am really big on building relationship equity. You need to be able to rely on strategic partnerships and single relationships and teams and any kind of support that you're getting. If you don't have that, you are not the man or woman that you think that you are, and you're not the man or woman that you are supposed to be. And that's the biggest lesson that I've learned by being in business. I would not be where I am if it wasn't for the support of my system that I have.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you just mentioned you're in business for 42 years. Was it the KTR Consultancy that over 42 years, or did you just break off?
Well, it was very fragmented. I've been in the speaking industry for 41 years. So I started KTR Consultancy maybe unofficially back then, and then officially probably about 30 years ago when I turned it into a real business. But you know, I've been in the entrepreneurial space for 42 years. I've always been a hustler. I've always been driven. I've always been a natural born leader. I've always had something inside of me. John, I'm real big on trusting my gut. And when I had this ball of fire burning in my gut when I was a kid, telling me to do this and do this, and I was very skilled at arts and music and writing and things of that nature. And it just evolved into entrepreneurship. Now, of course, I didn't know what the hell I was doing because I was so young. But I tell you what, the universe rewards you not to have the whole plan together. It rewards you to take the first step. And that's what I did.
Awesome. Awesome. So if going course of your 42 years, you said you started out with speaking was your first thing. That was your first love?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was a natural born speaker, John. I would get a note sent home in elementary school. Hey, Kevin is a great student. He's very skilled at arts and music and writing and all of this, but he talks too much to people in the class. Could not keep my mouth shut because I'm a connector, John. Just like you and I, we slipped into a natural groove because that's who you are. You're high energy like me. You're super positive. You have an insatiable appetite for nonstop learning and continuous education. And I always gravitated towards people who had that good energy. And I'm that way to this day.
Oh, that's awesome, Kevin. That's awesome. Great to hear. Okay, my next question. What do you think hinders a lot of men today from reaching their full potential?
Wow. I'm so glad you asked that question and focused on the men. We, we all have a uncontrollable desire to be right all the time. And men, it's ego gets in the way.
Mm,
So because we want to be right so much, we end up not listening. And this is the reason why women are from Venus, men are from Mars. We don't
yeah,
understand each other. So this is something that I really have spent the bulk of my career studying and mastering, which is personality profiling, people's strengths, limitations, characteristics, and tendencies. So you have a thinker, relator, director, and a socializer. Most men have the director trait in their personality, very domineering, very authoritative, very controlling. That's what leaders do. But the directors, they crush the relators and the socializers because they have more passive personalities, more warm personalities, more outgoing personalities. And then the thinkers think they're smarter than everybody, so they're very condescending. So we all have these good things about us and these bad things. The problem with I see with most men is their inability to have self-discipline and emotional control to neutralize the bad things. And then they don't, and then the greater qualities in their personality, they're not like they should be more philanthropic. They should be better listeners. They should be more giving. They should be more warm. They should be more sensitive. They should be more caring. Honestly, women have a higher emotional intelligence than men, but it's a
right.
skill that you can work on, but ego gets in the way. It is the biggest inhibitor of success that I have seen in men because they simply will not stop being controlling. And that's a big problem for a lot of people, and they won't listen.
That's okay. Which, in my opinion, ego goes back to someone's, and I don't know how to put it, but mental health is to me is something that, and if you're always on that, I'm always right track, okay, you're not going to, I don't think you're going to grow in any shape or form.
Yeah, it's difficult to grow, John, and that's a great point. Do you know how many people I've met in the past that stopped me from doing business with them because everything I said to them, the first thing out their mouth was, "Oh, I already know that. Oh, I know
Uh-huh.
that. Oh, yeah, I know. I know." You don't know everything. It's just that. Watch this. Do you realize that 75% of people shake their head yes when they said, John, did you understand what I said? Yes, John, I understood what you said. But really on the inside, they're going, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. They
Right.
just don't want themselves to look bad, and ego stands in the way. John, if you say something to me and I don't know it, I'm going to say, you say, hey, KTR, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say, no, John, I don't know what you're saying. Could you repeat that to me, please? Could you rephrase it? Oh, now I got it. You can see it in their eyes when they got it, John. But most
Yeah.
people are faking it until they make it, and that's just ego. It's
Right.
BS.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's probably, like you said, I mean, that's holding them back from being successful, or they may be successful, but they're not as successful as they could be.
Yes, it's a limitation on
Yeah.
your success. That's another great point that you made. See, this is why I love vibing with people like you, because loyalty has an expiration date and education has an expiration date.
Expiration date.
John, I can't expect the things that I learned 30 years ago to still be relevant to this day. Yes, the core values of the educational principles that I learned are still intact, but I have to keep, if you want to stay cutting edge, and we overuse that word a lot. Oh, my strategies are cutting edge. Well, if you want to stay cutting edge, you know what you have to do? You have to be learning every single day. I force myself to learn new things every day, at least 2 hours. That means I do research. That means I study. That means I'm using my voice recognition on my phone. That means I'm pulling up stuff in Google, ChatGPT, any tool that I have that can empower me with the right information. And I cross check that information through three sources. If it comes up in the same percentage points for three sources, or they are talking about the same exact thing, then I use it in practice, and I know that it works, then I share it with my clients. Other than that, I keep my mouth shut.
Got it. Okay. Well, I think again, I think adaptability would be a word too that's, hinders a lot of men today. Again, which
Yeah.
goes back to the ego thing, but you've got to learn how to adapt. Look, you mentioned in the start of the podcast about AI. I mean, it is helpful for some people, but if you don't adapt with the current times and things like that and use it for your businesses, okay, it's, again, your ego is getting in the way of things.
Yeah, you're gonna get left behind. I mean,
Yeah,
if my ego got in the way 10 years ago, I wouldn't be in a business partnership with Austin Troyer, who taught me everything I know about machine learning and AI and automation and digital marketing and selling things online. Because when I first met him, I was old school, but I'm very open-minded. So he comes along and he starts fixing everything inside of me that was broken. I was afraid of technology, John. I was in trouble.
well, that's
Going
what
through my
I did.
yeah, I was going through my second midlife crisis. I was literally struggling because I didn't understand Facebook and I didn't understand the things that I was doing in business. It wasn't working anymore because I didn't understand how to market myself online. He comes along and he's very gifted when it comes to he's a full stack developer, an engineer, and he builds apps. So he came along, he literally changed my life. Now I work with the old school people that used to think like me. You talked about it's called the pivot. You have to transition. You have to be flexible. You have to want to grow into something. This is the reinvention of yourself, John. And many people are still not doing it. And technology is not going to wait for you. It is going to leave you behind. And that's why you're going to see a bigger gap between the haves and the have-nots, because AI is going to create billionaires and trillionaires and millionaires even faster. And the people who understand it are going to be the ones that hit that hockey puck curve. The trajectory is
Right.
going to change them in their business.
Wow. Okay. I'm sure my audience would like to know, are you a more of a one-on-one consultant, or are you a business consultant, or a one-on-one that leads to company consultant? Um, what is basically your main thing?
That's a great question. Well, the main thing is I call it the golden triangle system of communication. I am a high fee consultant. Well, I work with, I have a large celebrity client base, and I work with enterprise clients on big projects and big retainers. And then I'm also a high fee speaker at 50 to 100,000 USD, where companies bring me in on site for customized trainings, right? For hour-long keynote speeches, 2 hour long educational keynotes, half-day programs, 2 to 4 hours, full-day programs, 4 to 8 hours. And then I'm a high-ticket business coach as well. I have a coaching program.
Good.
So, I can work with people on a one-on-one basis. I do have a community-based program, and then I do work with larger enterprise teams as well. So I customize it. It all depends on what the client needs.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome to hear that. Okay. My next question. For most men on the road to business or professional success, other areas of their life get sacrificed. What's been one of the areas, if you've had any area that's been suffering, and what have you done to change it?
Well, I can tell you this, it is impossible, and I learned this the hard way, to be Superman in every category at the same time. It's been times, John, when I've been husband of the year and my business has suffered. It's been times where I've been a great dad or a great granddad and business has suffered. There's been times where I have made business the number one priority and family life has suffered. Thank God I married a woman who is not really needy, and she's very independent and she's supportive. So she's given me the growth and the space to be able to grow as an entrepreneur. So I believe that when you are top heavy in some of these categories that I just mentioned, it is going to impact your mental health and wellness. So in the last 3 to 5 years in specific, I have been on a personal mental health and wellness journey. I make that top priority number one. I don't care what else has to sacrifice. I don't care how much money I lose. I don't care how much family time has to sacrifice. You think about this for a second, John, and I am a product of this mistake. You put the client first. You put your family first. You never think about yourself when you think team, and you make all this money and then it goes right back out, and then eventually you wind up literally broken on your knees as a man, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. Sometimes I've been through it all. Water, gas, electric, utilities have been cut off, foreclosure, repo, I mean, all that stuff multiple times, bankruptcies multiple times. And then you get to a point where you cross 50. and you start realizing for the first time you're facing your mortality. How much time do I really have left on this planet? I want to be the greatest humanitarian. That's how I want to be remembered. How the hell am I supposed to do that, John, if I'm not capable mentally, physically, and spiritually? So I go to the gym, I meditate, I make sure that I have a custom blend probiotic supplement that I take every day through Viones. I'm coming off these high blood pressure medications. I just lost 33 pounds over the last year. I got another 27 pounds to lose so I can reach my ultimate BMI for my age, my height, my weight. I'm putting myself number one for the first time ever in my life. And the reason why is because I need to get my mental health and wellness under control. But I will tell you this, it is long overdue. And too many men who are top performers, they do not do that. And my recommendation, and John, I know this is your business model, and this is why I wanted to come on this podcast. And I just thank you so much for having me, seeing the value in what I do enough to have me as a guest. Because let me tell you something, breakdowns is not if, it's a matter of time or when, brothers. If it happened to me, it's going to happen to you. And I'm in the ultra high net worth category for the last 4 or 5 years, but I almost died and I didn't get there because I didn't take care of myself. And those are the facts.
Yep. I totally agree with you. Totally agree. Okay. So yeah, we got to put ourselves first. I mean, when I was training back when I had a women's business, the women, 90% of them were said, well, I got to put my kids first. I said, well, if you don't put yourself first and your health first, how are you going to take care of your kids?
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
and that's the thing.
Yeah, John, I have a question if I could ask you.
Sure.
Why do we get in a habit in your experience in business, whether or not working with men or women, why do we get in a habit where we forget about ourselves? Why do we do that?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it should be the number one priority. I mean, again, we only have one body, one mind, and you know, it, I got to take care of it. I mean, like when you said when you pass 50, you know, start thinking of mortality. I'm 66 right now, and I believe I'm in the best shape, you know, that I could possibly be in at that age. But it all started with me taking myself serious. Okay. You know, like you
Yeah,
said, I put the clients first and everything else, but things changed. I mean, and you got to have that switch and it's got to go, okay, enough's enough. You know, I'm the number one guy. I'm the number one person. Okay. And that's what I got to take care of. So,
absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely.
My next one, since we're talking about all the sacrificing and the things, tell me, when do you find yourself at peace?
Wow. That's a really good question. My place of peace, I call it POP, the POP effect. My place of peace is 5 a.m. to noon every single day. You know why? Because that is the time where I get up, I meditate, I don't open up my schedule to my clients. That is my time when I take my supplements. You know, I'm not a big breakfast eater. I try to
Right.
skip breakfast. I'm intermittent fasting. So you know, I just get up, I take me a long walk. That's where I get my workout in. And I'm just kind of easing into my day without feeling like I'm pressured into anything. You know, if I got to open up my calendar right at 9 a.m. and my clients start diving on me, no, I need more time for myself. Now, that used to be the old KTR. I would open up my calendar at 7 a.m. and I would have it open till 2 a.m. the next day. I said,
Oh,
I teach this to my clients. Speak less and earn more. And I do the same thing.
great.
I only have 5 hours of my calendar open to my clients every single day. The rest of the time is focused on me, my family, research, taking it easy, John. I'm all that team no sleep and go hard and working 18 and 20-hour day. That's over for me. That
Yeah.
is over.
It should be over for everybody, Kevin. But I mean,
Yeah.
but you're the first person that took 5 hours for themselves in the morning. You know, a lot of people they take an hour, they go to the gym, they come back or whatever they got to do. But 5 hours, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
Okay.
sleep 6 to 8 hours, and I sleep 6 to 8 hours, whether or not that's 6 hours straight through in anywhere from like 10 a.m. to like 4 a.m. or something like that, or whether or not that's taking a nap during the day. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get my 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I used to only sleep 2 to 4 hours a day. Those days are over.
Your body can't operate that way. We need recovery. We need that. You know, we need this. They say sleep is by far the biggest tool there is.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, John? I had a calf injury on my left leg. It was about 10 days ago it happened. And I was jumping 1,000 ropes a day. I was doing a lot of high impact stuff, and I still need to get some of this weight off of me. I took a break for like 3 days, but it was still sore. And you know what? I picked up the heavy rope in the gym, and I landed on it. I got 3 ropes in, and I landed on it, and I re-aggravated it. I took a break for the last 7 days because I want to let it heal. You got to let it heal. So you got to do other things. You got to ride the bike. You got to do something that's low impact, because if you keep putting pressure on it, it's never going to get better. And that's all because I'm older, and I understand that now. Got to listen to your body.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next thing, if you were to give one piece of advice to other men that are on their journey to achieving success, what would it be?
What I would say is find out what makes you feel full. Seek fulfillment, not joy and happiness. Joy and happiness are needed, but they're very fleeting, John. They go
Yeah.
away very fast. Joy is a dopamine rush. It's having a really good meal on a cheat day. It's sex. It's if people, smoke, whatever they do to make them feel good, that's joy and that's happiness. Those things are needed. Happiness was the weekend, Easter Sunday dinner with my family. Oh man, it was a great dopamine rush. And then all of a sudden you wake up the next day, Easter's gone. It's time to do something else. But you know what? You know what makes me get up every day? It's the fact that I understand what my purpose is. If you ask most 25 to 70-year-olds, what is your purpose? They'll look up in the sky. They don't have the answer. They don't know what they were put on this earth to do. Now, most people don't understand what their purpose is. I would say find out what you're passionate about. Find out the thing that you need to do more than breathing. John, I need to speak. I need to connect with people. I need to do that like I need air in my lungs. If I don't do it, I'm dead. That's my passion. It makes me fulfilled when I'm able to serve people at the highest level possible. It's what I enjoy doing. I have to do it. I don't do it for the revenue. The revenue is the byproduct of my purpose, right? So then I would add, the last thing I would say on the tail end of that, I would say understand what your assignment is inside of your purpose, and have a vision. Understand your purpose is what's going to make you fulfilled, but you got to understand what your assignment is, and you need to carry out that assignment every single day. That's daily, weekly, monthly, yearly activity. Stay active, stay about your passion, and make sure that it takes your breath away when you do it. It's like, that's fulfilling. Do something that's fulfilling.
Doing something that's not called a job. It's what I like to do. Okay. I mean, you get up every morning and you can't wait to tackle the day. So
absolutely.
Okay. Well, Kevin, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Your answers were fabulous. The insights that you gave were immense. Okay. And my audience is going to look at this and they're going to go, my goodness, this is great insight. So thank you so much for taking the time to be on.
Thank you so much, John, for having me on.
Yep. As a reminder, everyone listening, the show is brought to you by the Prime Performance Method, where I help high-performing men rebuild strength, energy, and confidence without sacrificing their careers. If you are ready to feel as strong as your body as you are successful in your business, message me at John Fayocavitz on LinkedIn. Until the next episode, perform strong in all areas of your life.